Spooky Lou with an emergency WrestleRoni for me and for you. Now, don't get it twisted. Not all emergencies are bad, at least in my book. I believe this is a very good emergency. One of the most important emergencies in channel history. I will explain, okay? So yesterday, the internet goes out crazy. That's scary, right? Yeah, scary stuff. It was out all day, all night. It was going for a long time. So the kids are panicked. They need something to do. They ain't got no internet, man. You know, it's crazy without no internet. Anyway, I start digging through my DVDs, find them something, the perfect thing to catch their attention for a while, you know? So I'm going through some burnt DVDs, and there she was. I've been looking for her for so long, and I just gave up. And I said, must be gone. Oh, well. The ultimate in lost media for old Spooky Lou. I found 2 XWE shows from the year 2009. Now, what the hell is XWE, you're asking? Very good question. In my opinion, the most unprofessional, shitty wrestling fed ever. But that comes with a caveat, and a good caveat. This promotion ran right down the road from where I was living at the time. I mean, literal 5-minute walk, and I was walking to these shows. I found the promotion by walking by the bar one night. There was no flyers. Like I say, super unprofessional. We'll dip into that. I was just walking by one night with my lovely girlfriend at the time, and we heard some noise, looked in there, and there was some wrestling. I said, oh shit, we got some wrestling going on down from my house. So we started going to the shows. We went to a couple shows. On probably third week we went down. We're standing in line, and here comes old TJ Phillips. He said, hey, you used to backyard wrestle, right? And I'm like, yeah. He said, get in here. I said, okay. So me and my buddy Chris Orm, and I want to talk about him a little bit on this broadcast as well. He takes us in there. He said, we need an opening match. Well, I got you, Bubby. So we go back to my house, just to fill you in on every little shitty, scandalous detail on this. I had a pair of tights, believe it or not. Billy Knox, I don't know how he got this suitcase full of gear, but he kept the boots and a pair of tights, and he gave me a pair of tights, so it said JB on the side. So my backyard wrestling name was Jimmy Hotballs, so we changed it to Jimmy Blaze to match the JB. Come to find out, it was the tights of legendary local legend JB Brooks. So I didn't steal your tights, it was Billy Knox. I just wore them. So if you're listening, which you're probably not, I didn't steal them. They were gifted to me. So I put on the old tights, went down there with Orm. I'll never forget how nervous Orm was. Just nervous as can be. We go in the locker room, shake everybody's hand. Johnny Demonic. I got to give it to Johnny Demonic. If I had any training, regardless, it was 5 minutes, 15 minutes. He gave us some psychology, taught us some wrist locks, tie-ups, which, if you watch the footage, we definitely didn't grasp the tie-up. But he gave us some pointers, and I used them, and we had a match. So you'll see that. It's coming out very soon. I'll release it on its own. You're going to see other names that you may recognize. You're going to see a young beast man in a mask as Bulldozer. A lot of funny stuff there. You're going to see referee James Knight in his first month refereeing with hair and all. I mean, you're going to see on one of these matches Jason the Gift Kincaid in his younger years. I'm so excited to get this to you, man. And it meant so much to me that I could have that match with Orm. Since then, Orm unfortunately passed out of nowhere. Just one day he was gone. And that was my dude. Let me just give you a brief synopsis on the great Chris Orm. I had 2 matches, and I couldn't ask for 2 better people to be in the ring with because these people were great to me. As far as Orm, I met him in backyard wrestling. I'll give you the story of how me and Chris met. I was running MWN in Monongah, Billy Knox was running DMW Deathmatch Wrestling up the road in Binghamton, West Virginia. So we met each other. It was like, well, hell, man, let's do an invasion deal. But let's do a shoot invasion. Real smart. So me and my buddy Drew Fisher put on some masks, drove to Binghamton for, I think it was Hardcore Halloween or something. It was a Halloween show. So we can wear a monster mask, get away with it. The thing is, this is legit, man. Like, even though it's being filmed and these guys know we're coming, they don't know who we are. I don't know them. So there's weapons. We're hitting each other with golf clubs, all kinds of stuff. So we do this legit shoot invasion. And the one guy that gave it to me just as hard as I gave it to him was Chris. And we became friends right then and there. I bopped him in the head with a ladder. He came back for more. Me and Chris became best friends. Chris was always the one to babysit us while we were partying in our younger years in high school. One of the best, most genuine, kind-hearted people I've ever known in my life, Chris Orem. We made numerous trips to wrestling together. We went to Ohio to wrestling. When wrestling was running in Shinston, APWA, we was at every show together, got together for pay-per-views, and it wasn't just wrestling. That was my brother, Chris Orem. So I'm so glad that I found this match, not just for me, but for Chris and his family. So I can't wait to get that out. And like I say, man, he was nervous. You can see it in the match. If he gets a chance to put on a hold, he's put me in a headlock and thinking about what he's doing. I don't want to give away too much about the match because the story will tell itself. But just know that I'm the heel. They didn't get my music right. Second time, they didn't even get my name right. But that's what happens when you don't have Luke on the mic. Man, just thinking about how nervous we both were. But mine wasn't excited nervous. Chris was just nervous as all hell, man. After the first match, they say I went into shock. I don't know. I was watching the footage last night, and I think it's during the third match. You see me walk by the camera, and I remember there was a bathroom right by the ring, and I remember going in that bathroom and just being so sick. And literally, after the match, I saw Predator vision, like the Predator sees, like that neon orange and everything was warping. And you'll see in the match, Spooky Lou don't know how to bump. Still don't know how to bump to this day. And I cracked my head a few times. I guarantee you I was concussed. And you'll see it. Watch it closely. You'll see me bang my head off that mat plenty. You'll see how I look after the match. You'll see my beautiful wife come up to me and ask if I'm okay. And I'm still playing the heel and telling her to fuck off. It was a good time, man. My second match the next week, they were dumb enough to bring me back, man. They were dumb enough to let this untrained backyarder back in that ring. And this time I got the second match. Ooh, yeah, moving up the ranks. And that was against my buddy Mike Cunningham. Another one of the most kind-hearted, best people I've ever met in my life. When I was going through hard times in my life, Mike and his father let me move into their house, no questions asked. They knew my situation. They housed me. They fed me. I believe I was 19, 20 years old. So this is a few years down the line. I'd moved to Fairmont. Mike had met a girl in Fairmont, so he's seeing a girl in Fairmont. So I told him I had a match. Mike was currently doing MMA at the time, and I think you'll see a lot of that in this match. The second match is better than the first one, because Mike has that MMA background to go on, so he pulls out some MMA stuff and legit throws me around, you know. I don't want to give away the finish, but just know when you watch that match, the finish you see is not the finish that was planned. I promise you that. Back to the match with Chris. The match is going so bad, you can see the piece of shit promoter that didn't pay anybody and is one of the biggest piece of shits I've ever met in my life. You can see him come out the ringside and tell the shittiest referee I ever saw in my life. You can see him tell the ref to wrap it up. Referee goes to Chris to tell us to wrap it up because we were just dumping each other on our heads, and it was bad. I grabbed a chair at one point, and you can see him flip out. I wasn't going to bring it in the ring. I'm just trying to, cause a ruckus. But yeah, that's pretty much when he was like, man, I need to have these goose wrap it up. But man, I'm so excited to find this. I've been looking for years and years, and hey man, I told you I wrestled. I never said I wrestled well, but you'll see. You'll see very soon. I'll go ahead and get the first match out tomorrow. We'll put out the other matches that happened on that card individually. We'll get out my second match within the next few days. You got a lot of good content coming up. If you remember Land Shark's in there. Like I say, you got Beastman as Bulldozer, TJ Phillips, Jason Kincaid, James Knight refereeing. There'll be some other familiar faces. Some people, Johnny Demonic, I think I gave him his due. He was the one that gave us pointers. You'll see him in action. It's not the most important stuff in the world, but as far as me personally, it's pretty important. But by no means did I do anything in that ring that I should be proud of, but I'm proud of the fact that I got to do it. So don't get it twisted. I'm not saying it's good, and I'm not even saying I deserved it. I earned it by any means. I lucked out. I found a shitty promotion that would let backyarders in the ring, and I got my shot. So I really hope you tune in. Get a laugh out of it. Hey, man, leave it in the comments. Fucking, flame me up, man. I don't care. Leave Chris alone. He was a good dude. You can light Mike up, too. He's a good dude, but still, he didn't pass away, so you can light him up. It's good stuff. I'm super happy that I found it. Also coming up on the podcast this week, our biggest name yet, by far. Stay tuned for that. We still got a lot of old school West Virginia wrestling. Man, back to this promotion, bro. Like, I told you, it's the most unprofessional wrestling, and you'll see it, not just in my match, in other matches. I remember going in that locker room and just cans upon cans of beers just being just on top of each other. They never paid the boys. I'm trying to remember how long they ran. They even brought in some names. I'm pretty sure they brought in the Rock and Roll Express. But I would say they didn't run longer than a couple months, maybe 3 months max. But it didn't last long. There's no lighting. You'll see. I can't wait for you to see it. I want you to see how much better we're doing now in West Virginia. This is quintessential West Virginia shit. I promise you that. You're going to see some cool stuff here and there. There's some cool moves. There's some cool spots when it comes to the other matches, not mine. So just stay tuned. You got a lot of good matches to look forward to. You're going to see Spooky Lou in the ring. So I just wanted to get this out, kind of give you the rundown, the backstory on how this all happened and why it happened. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments here. Leave them in the comments of the matches. I'll fill you in on what I can. But yeah, man, I'm just so glad I found it. I figured it was going forever. And then right there it was, man. It'd been there all along. I know I'd went through those DVDs a million times looking for it. Just everything happens for a reason. Timing is everything. Right now the channel's hot. So I can't wait for folks to see what a shitty wrestler I was. That's all I got, man. Please give it a shot. Check it out. I want you to see it. I want you to see how shitty of a wrestler I was. In the meantime, go out there and live your dreams. Treat each other with kindness and respect, but don't take no shit from nobody. You know what's coming up on February 7th, Morgantown Art Party. Marcus Twist, birthday deathmatch sock hop. And it's just getting wilder by the minute. Me and Twist is talking about it every day. We got some wild ideas. Everybody else has some wild ideas. And the reins are off, man. We can do whatever we want within reason, within the law. Now, I won't even say within reason because a lot of this shit ain't even reasonable. But it's going to be fucking fun. I promise you that. Get your tickets early. It'll save you $5. And if you don't want to save it $5, you can pay at the door. That's perfectly fine, too. But please join us. It's coming soon, man. This weekend in Morgantown. It's going to be a good time. In the meantime, just stay tuned to the Roni. We got updates. We got big podcast guests coming up. Lots of great content. I can't thank y'all enough for the love and support. It means more than you know. Hope you have a wonderful Royal Rumble weekend. I love you, and I'm out of here.